The neon sign buzzed like something dying slowly. Not loud enough to demand attention. Not soft enough to ignore. Just that constant electrical hum hanging over the empty Nevada desert like an insect trapped inside a light bulb. Motel, a gas ice. Half the letters flickered in sickly purple and cold fluorescent blue, throwing weak stains of color across the cracked concrete lot. Beyond that glow, the desert stretched forever, flat, endless, and black enough to swallow the world whole. Eli Mercer tightened his grip on the steering wheel. 2:13 a.m. The digital numbers glowed pale green against the darkness inside the car. No radio signal. No passing headlights. No signs of life for nearly an hour. And worst of all, no stars. That was the thing that unsettled him first. Nevada skies were supposed to be endless oceans of stars. You should have been able to look up and feel small beneath them. But tonight, the sky looked dead. Flat. Empty. Like someone had painted over reality with black oil. The neon buzz outside seemed louder somehow as Eli pulled into the station. Crunch. Gravel shifted beneath the tires. The engine died, and instantly, silence swallowed everything. Not normal silence. Not peaceful silence. This silence felt aware, like the entire desert had stopped breathing just to listen. Eli stepped out slowly. Cold air scraped against his skin, dry and sharp with the smell of overheated wires and ancient dust. Sweat clung to the back of his neck despite the freezing temperature. The gas station stood alone beside the highway, like a forgotten memory. Purple neon reflected across the windows. One blue fluorescent tube above the entrance flickered every few seconds. Flash. Darkness. Flash. Darkness. And every time the light vanished, the building looked different when it returned. Not completely different, just wrong. Slightly stretched. Slightly misplaced. Like reality couldn't remember its exact shape. Eli looked back toward the highway. Nothing. No headlights. No movement. Only black asphalt disappearing into endless dark. His gas tank was nearly empty. He'd already passed 2 abandoned stations miles back. Windows boarded up, pumps ripped apart by rust and time. This place was the only reason he wasn't stranded in the middle of nowhere. Still, something about it twisted uneasily inside his chest. Not danger. Something worse. Recognition. Like returning somewhere you'd forgotten on purpose. The neon hum deepened. Eli walked toward the pumps. None of the displays worked. Dead screens. Dead buttons. Dead silence. Then suddenly, every pump display lit up at once. 88.88. 88.88. 88.88. 88.88. Eli Mercer. The numbers flickered violently before all 4 screens died again. The fluorescent light above the entrance buzzed harder. Inside the station, he could see shelves, coolers, candy racks, coffee machines, normal things. Except, the aisles looked too long. The building itself couldn't have been wider than 30 feet, but the shelves stretched unnaturally deep into the store, disappearing farther than they physically should. Eli started. The blue light flickered again. The owl snapped back to normal. He exhaled shakily. Jesus, get it together. 11 hours of driving. Barely any sleep. That's all this was. Exhaustion. The human brain did strange things after midnight. That had to be it. He approached the glass door. The purple neon reflected across his face, turning his skin corpse pale. When he grabbed the handle, a chill shot through his fingers. Not air conditioning cold. Dead metal cold. The bell above the door gave a soft ding as he stepped inside. Immediately, the smell hit him. Burnt coffee. Bleach. Hot dust. And underneath it all, the faint smell of rain on concrete. The station was empty. Rows of shelves stood beneath flickering fluorescent lights. Some buzzed softly with electrical static while others pulsed dim blue like failing hospital lights. The floor tiles were black and white checkerboard, yellowed with age. At first glance, it looked ordinary. At second glance, nothing aligned correctly. Eli stopped walking. The register counter sat near the left wall, but its shadow stretched toward the front windows instead of away from them. He blinked hard. The shadow corrected itself instantly. His heartbeat quickened. Hello. No response. Only the electric hum. Behind the counter sat perfectly arranged cigarette cartons. Every package faced forward with unnatural precision. No dust, no music, no refrigerator noise. Nothing alive, only that endless buzzing. Eli moved deeper into the store. His footsteps sounded strange, muted, as if the building swallowed echoes before they fully existed. He passed shelves of canned food, cleaning supplies, magazines. He stopped. Every magazine cover showed empty places, desert roads, lonely motels, abandoned highways. No people, not a single person. He picked one up. November 1987. Another. April 1994. Another. September 1971. None newer than that. A cold sensation crawled into his stomach. The lights flickered blue again, and for one impossible second, the aisle beside him stretched forever. Miles of shelves fading into darkness. Endless. Wrong. Then normal again. Eli backed away immediately. No. His voice sounded too loud. Too small. He turned toward the refrigerators and stopped cold. They weren't there anymore. Eli Mercer. Slowly, he turned his head. The coolers now stood against the opposite wall. His pulse spiked. That wasn't possible. The store was tiny. Tiny. Yet suddenly the register looked farther away. The front door, too. The humming intensified beneath his feet. A low electrical vibration crawling through the tile. Then a voice spoke behind him. Long drive. Eli spun so fast his shoulder hit a shelf. A man stood behind a register. Thin, middle-aged, gray uniform. Namatak. Dale. Eli never heard him approach. No footsteps. No breathing. Nothing. The clerk smiled faintly. Not friendly. Not threatening. Just practiced. You need gas. Dale asked softly. Yeah, Eli answered carefully. Pump wasn't working. It'll work now. Dale stared without blinking. The fluorescent light above him buzzed louder and louder. Eli glanced toward the windows. The darkness outside looked thicker now. Not empty. Dense. Like the desert itself had moved closer. You been here all night? Eli asked. Dale tilted his head slightly. Haven't seen many travelers lately. Eli Mercer. That doesn't answer my question. Another faint smile. You shouldn't stay too long. A nervous laugh escaped Eli's throat. Trust me, wasn't planning to. Dale said nothing. That's when Eli noticed something else. No clocks. No advertisements. No lottery signs. Nothing modern anywhere. The station felt preserved in time, like a memory refusing to decay. He grabbed a bottle of water from the cooler. Warm. Every bottle was warm. Yet cold vapor drifted behind glass. Eli walked toward the counter again. Except, the aisle didn't end where it should. He stopped moving. The counter looked farther away now. Much farther. The shelves around him suddenly felt enormous. The fluorescent buzzing drilled into his skull. He turned sharply. The back wall was gone. Only darkness remained beyond the final aisle. Not shadow, not bad lighting, pure black emptiness, the kind that erased depth entirely. Eli backed away slowly. The humming became unbearable. Blue light flickered overhead, and for one horrifying instant, shape stood inside the darkness. Tall, thin, perfectly still between the shelves. Watching him, the light stabilized. Gone. Eli hurried toward the register. The floor beneath him felt delayed somehow, like reality moved a second behind his footsteps. Dale waited silently. You got another exit? Eli asked. No. What's behind the back aisles? Dale looked confused. Products. Eli forced a laugh that sounded close to panic. Yeah, okay. Dale leaned slightly forward, and suddenly Eli realized what felt wrong about his face. The proportions. His eyes sat slightly too high, his mouth slightly too low, like someone had reconstructed a human face from memory alone. You stopped here before, Dale whispered. Eli Kronet. What? You don't remember? Cold pressure crushed into Eli's chest. No. Dale's smile widened just enough to stop looking human. You always say that. The lights exploded into violent flickers. Purple, blue, darkness. Purple, blue, darkness. And during one blackout, something breathed beside Eli's ear. Huh. Vet. Hungry. He stumbled sideways with a gasp. The lights returned. Nothing there. But the station had changed again. More aisles. Bent angles. Ceilings too high. Windows too small. The building itself seemed to stretch around him like melting plastic. I'm leaving. Dale nodded slowly. Most people try. The front door stood 20 feet away. Eli rushed toward it. His footsteps echoed, wrong now, delayed and distorted like someone copying them badly. He grabbed the handle, pulled hard, locked. What the hell? He slammed against it again. Nothing. Outside, the purple neon buzzed brighter than ever. Still no stars. Still no sound. No wind. No insects. Nothing alive. Eli turned slowly. The station behind him looked massive now. Endless rows of aisles vanished in a blue haze. And between them, movement, not approaching, just shifting, watching. The humming became almost musical, a low droning frequency vibrating through his teeth. Dale remained perfectly still behind the counter. You're hearing it now, he whispered. Hearing what? The place between. Eli stared at him in terror. This place isn't real. For the first time, Dale looked sad. Real enough. The purple neon outside pulsed like a heartbeat, and suddenly the windows no longer showed reality correctly. The pump stood at impossible angles. The highway curved where it shouldn't. And Eli's car, his car was gone. Cold panic flooded through him. No, you arrived a long time ago, Dale said quietly. Eli turned toward him slowly. What are you talking about? Dale pointed toward a newspaper rack. A faded newspaper sat on the front. Its headline showed a wrecked car beside a desert ravine. Eli's car, same dented hood, same bumper sticker. The date read, October 18th, 2003. Local man still missing after highway accident. Eli's knees nearly gave out. That's impossible. Then memory hit him all at once. Zen, headlights. Falling asleep for 1 second too long. The scream of twisting metal. Glass exploding inward. Then, purple light. That awful humming. No, Eli vispirit. You never made it to Reno, Dale said softly. Eli so violent. No, I drove here. I walked inside. You always do. Always do. Always do. Always do. The words echoed through the station like distant radio static. The aisles stretched deeper into darkness. And now Eli could see the figures clearly. Travelers. Dozens of them. People from different decades wandering endlessly beneath flickering blue lights. Some barely visible. Some smiling too wide. All lost. Forever. The neon hum swallowed the world. This place, Eli whispered. Dale looked exhausted suddenly. The road leaves things behind sometimes. Eli backed toward the locked door. There has to be a way out. Maybe. Tell me. Dale's eyes shifted toward the darkness between the aisles. They hear you when you panic. Who? Dale never answered. The lights flickered again. This time darkness lasted longer. And inside that darkness, something crawled. Fussed. Too many limbs scraping across tile. Wet breathing echoed nearby. Then the lights returned. Nothing there, except one aisle closer. For the first time, Dale looked afraid. Don't let them know you remember. The humming rose sharply. The entire station vibrated. Purple neon flooded through the windows like ultraviolet water. One figure stepped forward, a woman wearing a faded, sun-bleached dress. Her face hidden in shadow, perfectly still. Then her head tilted sideways. Bones cracked softly, and she smiled. Too wide, far too wide. The lights burst blue. Darkness swallowed everything. Somewhere deep in the aisles, a scream echoed endlessly. Old, ancient, repeating forever. When the lights returned, the figures were closer. Eli ran, not toward the door, toward the aisles. Pure instinct, pure terror. He sprinted beneath flickering fluorescent lights while shelves blurred beside him. Candy, dust, rotting cereal boxes, empty spaces where products should have been. The aisles twisted impossibly, corners leading deeper and deeper inside. The humming became deafening. Behind him came footsteps, dragging, scraping, hungry. Eli turned one final corner and froze. The aisle opened into an impossible desert beneath a black sky. Endless neon signs floated in the darkness. Gas stations, motels, convenience stores, hundreds of them, all glowing purple and blue, all humming, all connected. Liminal places between life and death, between memory and oblivion. The figures emerged behind him slowly, smiling, distorted. Wrong. You can still stay, one whispered. Most do, another said softly. It's quieter here. Then Dale appeared behind them. For the first time, he sounded human. Run. So Eli ran. Sand shifted beneath his feet between broken tile floors. The air screamed with electrical static. Purple neon signs flashed around him endlessly. Open 24 hours. No vacancy, ice, gas, sleep, stay. The entire desert felt artificial, like a dream trying desperately to imitate America. Then, headlights, real headlights, far away, a truck moving down an actual highway. Hope, the figures saw it too. Their smiles vanished instantly. Eli sprinted harder. Hands brushed against his back. Cold fingers. Whispers filled the air. You'll come back. You always come back. Everyone does. Then, impact, blinding light, screaming brakes. Pain, real pain. Eli opened his eyes beneath brutal Nevada sunlight. Wind hit his face. Actual wind. A truck driver shouted into a phone nearby. Yeah, he's alive. Barely, but alive. Eli Ganghed violent. Daylight. Heat. Reality. He turned toward the desert. Nothing there. No gas station. No neon lights. Only empty sand stretching forever beneath a bright blue sky. The truck driver approached carefully. Jesus Christ, man. Your car's totaled down the ravine. You're lucky to be breathing. Eli stared silently toward the empty horizon. Then, faintly, almost impossible to hear, the distant sound of an electric hum drifted across the desert wind. Bzzzzzzz. Eli looked up slowly, far beyond the heat haze. A purple neon light flickered once against the daylight sky, then disappeared forever.